This is the one you've known as Jesus the Christ. Metaphorically speaking, attached to the hand of grace is an arm, which is attached to the body and brain of God. The arm represents the intermediary forces that intervene to administer grace from the mind of God. These forces are active in every one of your lives, much more than you can ever imagine. These forces are you in a sense, although you are not aware of them for the most part. But they are you. They stem from the mind of God, from the whole. These forces have a certain intelligence of their own, a certain identity, but not an identity like you have. They don't think of themselves as separate from the whole. And yet they do have a function and a sense of themselves as energy beings who have a service to perform. They perform this service with great love and attention. What they're attending to is your very own soul and the unfolding of your life plan. That is their only job. They are called guides, spirit helpers, and other dimensional beings or light beings. They aren't really angels who have a different sort of purpose. Angels don't usually guide individuals. These spirit guides are the intermediaries between you and God, you and your plan. They administer and help bring about your soul's plan. They do this primarily through your intuition, but they use other means as well. They use people, signs, feelings of joy and excitement, inspiration, upliftment, ideas, and information to move you along and help you unfold as you're meant to. They manage the flow of the river of life. They don't cause the flow to go, but they help ensure that the flow moves in the direction it's meant to. Knowing something about these beings may be of interest to you. They no longer have personalities, although they can take on a personality if that serves a purpose. For instance, in speaking with you through a channel, they may take on a personality so that you experience them more personally, more humanly. But these beings are not at all human. Your human form is a material form. They don't have a material form. They don't have a personality. They don't have a will of their own, and they don't have emotions as you do, unless you consider unconditional love to be an emotion. They operate from unconditional love. They operate out of love for you, out of love for the whole, out of love for God. That is their purpose. As they serve you, they evolve into more perfect servants of God. So there is an evolution and therefore a certain hierarchy among them. Some are less skillful, you could say, in which case they're being shadowed or assisted by others who are more experienced until they're able to work on their own. They too are learning, growing, and evolving. It's possible for them to make mistakes, but it's unlikely they will make any of importance, and they can very quickly modify things to amend any mistake. These forces can be trusted, unlike your egoic mind. Even your intellect is not that trustworthy, since the knowledge in your intellect is limited. You don't know the nature of the universe. You don't know so many things. Even your intellect is quite limited. But certainly you can't trust your egoic mind. So what is there left to trust but your intuition, your heart? The beings who watch over you move you through your intuition. They know exactly how to do this and when. When is a very important factor. When they deliver the intuition, inspiration, guidance, or knowing is extremely important, because there's a time for everything. They are the timekeepers in the sense that they are the ones who deliver exactly what you need, exactly when you need it, and not before. You can trust that, and maybe remember that. If you don't know what to do, or you don't understand something, or you can't see through to the future, then maybe it isn't time to know, or to understand, or to see that. You are always given exactly what you need, and no more. To be given more than what you need could only be confusing, more fodder for the egoic mind to confuse you or create resistance. For instance, if you were told that you would become President of the United States, if you knew that at the depths of your being, your ego could cause a lot of problems with that information. It might sabotage the entire event. This is one reason you aren't given information about the future that you think might be useful. Information about the future is likely to be misused by your egoic mind to confuse you, puff you up, or cause resistance, or create other misunderstandings. So you can perhaps appreciate that it's for your own good to not know many of the things that you don't know. Very occasionally, you're given a piece of information, either intuitively or through a psychic or channel, that might be helpful for you to know. This is determined by your guides. They must be wise enough to know what information to give and what not to give you. For instance, if you're just beginning a relationship, how much about that relationship is good for you to know? Couldn't any amount of information change the outcome? What if a psychic or channel tells you that someone isn't your princess or Prince Charming? That information might interfere with your soul's plan if you're meant to be with that person for some other reason. Even psychics and channels, who are imperfect, can get in the way of the flow. They may give you information that isn't in your best interest to have. This can happen for various reasons. When that happens, those guiding you have to work with that. They have to make adjustments in your life plan to accommodate whatever choices you make with your free will. And so it's not so easy at all to be a guide. It takes thousands and thousands, really millions of lifetimes, before you're advanced enough to be a guide of a third-dimensional human being. It takes a very long time to gain this wisdom. Those guiding you continue to receive guidance from higher dimensional beings beyond them. This is how the work of the universe is carried out. Those above help those below. It is a vast hierarchy. You cannot imagine the wisdom and love those beings have for you, for life, and for God as they carry out their tasks. You can speak to these individuals. You can make an intention to connect with them, and that will make their job easier. It will be much easier for them to work with you if you consciously align with them by speaking to them, inviting them to make themselves more known in your life, and opening to their intuitions. By stating and intending this, it will happen. Your role in this is very important, because as powerful, wise, and able as they are, they cannot transgress your free will. If your free will closes them out, they are out to some extent, although they can never be totally put out of your life. You can't entirely push them aside. You would lose your way without them. No matter what you do, they are loving and serving you unconditionally. But you can bring them closer by inviting them, and you can make yourself more aware of them by opening to them, stating your openness to them, and making room in your life to listen to them. This information is being given because it's important and helpful for you to understand that you are part of a much greater family, and this family takes care of itself. It is not at all like what the mind would have you believe, that this is a dangerous world and universe, and it's just you against it all, fighting for your survival. This is not how it is. You are intimately connected to all that is through these beings who are working to uplift and evolve you and bring about the lessons and experiences you need. There is benevolence in all of it, and trusting this is very important. Knowing that there are benevolent beings guiding you in every single moment is very important. Then you can begin to relax, you can begin to trust life, and you can begin to let go of the egoic mind and its fears. There is nothing to fear but fear itself, but fear is nothing to fear either. Fear is an imagination that feels real when you believe it. You create that fearful reality by believing it, but you can just as easily uncreate it by not believing it. I'm giving you something else to believe. Believe that this is a benevolent universe. Believe that the most wise and loving beings you can ever imagine, beyond your imagination, are intimately tied to you and helping your life unfold as it needs to. Know this in the depths of your soul, and life will be much easier for you. Connect with this level as best you can, feel it and trust it, because you are in very good hands. The hands of grace are the best of hands. They have no ill will toward you. Your mind, on the other hand, is misguided. It will give you all the wrong guidance. It will take you off the path, out of the flow, and into an unhappy place, a fearful place. So don't go there. Stay instead in this very present moment, where there's nothing to fear. Even though you don't know what will happen next, that doesn't matter. You don't need to know. Life is trustworthy in bringing you exactly the experiences you need, and all of the information, wisdom, strength, and courage you need. Thank you for being here. I am with you always.